year this year. Your mission to educate, empower, and support women, both in publishing and through it, is a worthy and noble pursuit. The brother of governor, the insurance commissioner, was the seated insurance commissioner at the time. And everyone says, well, this is really going to be tough. I don't know if you should do it. And there's a paperweight on my desk that I remember looking at that said, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? This is a historic week. On Tuesday, the son of an African immigrant raised by a single mother with an unusual name and a fraction of the experience owned by his impressive opponents was elevated to the highest post in the land. If Barack Obama's inauguration does nothing else for you, it should at least prove that in America anything is possible. But just because we have a free press does not mean that we are free to back away from its awesome power.
I've heard a lot of people say you can have it all, and I have 2 children, and I have a great husband, and I think I have a lot of fun in my life, but at that time I was single, I was young, and I thought, you know what, I don't have anything else to do, I am going to put work first.
As a society, as a business and a community, we should be, as executives of companies, providing a good, flexible work life for our people, because it's the right thing to do, but also because in the end it's the most productive thing to do.
We do have Grace Hawthorne is the co-founder and president / publisher of Ready Made. Secondly, we have Jane Goldman, who also founded Child as a print magazine. Holly Perkins Johnson, who is the vice president and vice president of business development for Ad Media. What advice would you give an individual with a new startup idea today?
Women come to me with the idea and the passion. And making money is, if you build it, they will come. That doesn't work anymore. I don't mean to say that all your enthusiasm and passion won't make something successful, but we have to really look at the business plan, and you want to not over-promise and under-deliver.
I think what Polly said is absolutely right. I would say raising money, you're raising money for a business, that's absolutely true. And probably step one is, what business are you in? If you're in print publishing, it's actually a little different than online publishing.
If you build it, they will come. Okay, I'm gonna say that because I have to be like the optimistic person on this panel. If you live by your passion and work by your integrity, you will make something happen. I guarantee it.
The reality is that we haven't figured out how to make as much revenue with an online model as we have with a print model. So what we've discovered and what we think is resonating is, how do we empower the print model and extend the print model?
It's not just about putting your print magazine online, but actually thinking about how both of those formats can complement and feed to each other, and how that can broaden your relationship with your consumer.
And today, the woman we're recognizing is Alex Kennedy. Alex Kennedy, right now, is the executive director of the Eric Carle Museum. Who knows who Eric Carle is? Anybody read The Very Hungry Caterpillar to their children? She also was one of the founders, the founding editor of Family Fun. She was the founding editor of Wonder Time. But thank you, Alex, for being with us today.
want to thank everybody at Women in Periodical Publishing. It's very daunting and humbling to join a list of women who for years you looked at as role models. So I would love to be able to live up to that. And the thing that we've been talking about most for the last few months is about leadership. For her, she took over a group of 65, 70 people in Northampton. And for me, as I went into something very new and tried to figure out how to make sense of being a leader in a group that's very different than what I came from. And I thought maybe today that what I would do is share some of the things that she and I have spent a lot of time talking about. So the first one is be the first one to question the orthodoxies. And when I talk about orthodoxies, and it's a great exercise to do with your own publication if you've never done it before, is writing a list of all the things that you believe to be true, those things that are doctrine where you are. My second one is you're only as good as your team. And one of the things I've seen people make a mistake time and time again is feeling that having a team means having to control them. But if you really push and allow that team to do that, you eventually come out the other side and they learn to appreciate each other and respect each other and challenge each other in a way that makes them all better and makes you better at it. The thing I want to say to everybody here is, I don't know of another business in the world that makes you smarter than magazines. If you're making magazines, you have to be able to convince people to invest in your product every single month. You have to meet these tremendous deadlines. You have to manage rising costs every year. You're a people-intensive business with these big staffs to manage. It is a really, really tricky and difficult business. And I don't have to tell anybody in this room that, but you may not realize just how much you've learned until you step away from it. So I want to thank everybody again, and I have loved the conversations today. They've given me so many pangs. I'm looking forward to doing my panel after this. I've had great mentors and done some fun mentoring, so that's going to be an interesting conversation. Thank you, everybody.